to FTM Chapter 20, A Double Impulse. When the sixth grade teacher let me in, the other kids looked at me, but I would have done the same thing. She was a warm, nice woman who tried to make my first day as easy as possible. She gave me the morning to get the feel of the room. That afternoon, during a reading lesson, she finally asked me if I'd care to try a page out loud. I had not yet opened my mouth except to smile. When I stood up, everyone turned to watch. Any kid entering a new class wants, first of all, to be liked. I smiled wider, then began to read. I made no mistakes. When I finished, a pretty blonde girl in front of me said, quite innocently, "Gee, I didn't know you could speak English." She was genuinely amazed. I was stunned. How could this have been in a doubt? It wasn't difficult now to explain her reaction, but at age 11, I couldn't believe anyone could think such a thing, say such a thing about me, or regard me in that way. I smiled and looked down, suddenly aware of what being of Japanese ancestry was going to be like. I wouldn't be faced with physical attacks or with overt shows of hatred. Rather, I would have I would be seen as someone foreign or as someone other than American or perhaps not to be seen at all. During the years in camp, I had never really understood why we were there, nor had I questioned it much. I knew no one in my family had committed a crime. From that day on, part of me yearned to be invisible. In a way, nothing would have been nicer than for no one to see me. Although I couldn't have defined it at the time, I felt that if attention were drawn to me, people would see this girl had first responded to. They wouldn't see me, they would see the slant eye face, the Asian. It's an attitude easy for non whites to acquire in America. I had inherited it. Manzanar had confirmed it. And my feeling at 11 went something like this: if you're going to be invisible anyway, why not completely disappear? But another part of me did not want to disappear. With the same sort of reaction that sent Woody into the army, I instinctively decided I would have to prove that I wasn't different, that it should not be odd to hear me speak in English. From that day forward, I lived with this double impulse: the urge to disappear and the desperate desire to be acceptable. And what is so infuriating looking back is how I accepted the situation. If refused by someone's parents, I would never say go to hell or I'll find other friends or who wants to come to your house anyway. I would see it as my fault, the results of my failing. I was imposing a burden on them.